Hi guys.
Can you hear me?
See me. Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening, Emmanuel.
Yeah, good evening. How you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I'm very, very happy to be here. Trust you are happy to be here as well.
Sure, I'm doing very great. I'm doing very great.
Awesome,
Faith.
awesome. Welcome to the Genius Timeout this week. Welcome to the Genius Timeout this week, and I'm very excited because today we are having a very, very, very amazing session. Okay, we're having a very amazing session, and we're going to be having the amazing Denu Bon come to share with us about digital marketing. I am basically how to manage your finance as a digital marketer, and it's definitely going to be a very great experience. So I'm here with Emmanuel. My name is Prosperity, and I'm here with Emmanuel. Hi, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I'm here now. The network was
Awesome.
misbehaving.
Awesome.
All
Yeah,
right,
it
good
is what it
evening, guys. Emmanuel, and it's great to be here. I can see we have our
is.
our amiable guest in the house already.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what makes it beautiful. So right, today we are going to be discussing how to manage your finances as a digital marketer. And our guest today is a very, very amazing individual. He's the founder of the Denu Money Circle. Denu Money Circle is an organization that focuses on guiding young people and entrepreneurs on how to manage their finances. And I'm glad to have been a part of this circle. They helped me in growing in my financial life. And Investor Denu, most especially, we are called investors because that's exactly what we do. We invest. Yeah. So today, Investor Denu is going to be sharing with us so many amazing tips. So if you are joining, tell me where you are joining us from, and also tell me your name. Share your name and where you are joining us from. Investor
Yeah,
Denu is going
I
to be
think.
taking. Yeah.
I mean, imagine how very fantastic this our guest is today. I mean, from his company, you can literally tell his name. I was thinking you were going to mention his name, but I was looking back, found out of the Denu Money. I was like, you know his name already. You know his name already. His name is Denu Bon, and I'm going to also ask him for a special discount to join the Denu Money Circle because I also want to become an investor. I mean, I can't wait for that. And also, Denu Bon is also the founder of Goloko Diaries. I mean, if you're on LinkedIn, you know Goloko Diaries. They don't need introduction, right? So it's going to be a very great time. I'm looking forward to the fire that will be set tonight. You guys will
Mm-hmm.
probably see temperature change as soon as it comes up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So today we'll be discussing how to manage your finances basically. So one thing we've understood is that as much as is often overlooked, finances is a very core part of success, especially as a digital marketer. It's not just about you making money, but knowing how to manage your finances. And Investor Deno is absolutely an expert at that. So tell me where you are joining us from. Tell me your name, what platform you are joining us from, how you heard about this, and what are your expectations for this session. So yeah, in 1 minute, we are going to be having the amazing Emmanuel, the amazing Denubon join us right here on stage, right here on stage. So yeah, so tell us where you are joining us from, and also share with your friends and tell them to join us here as soon as possible. Yeah, so right now we'll be having Investor Deno join us, and over the next 25 minutes, we are going to be sharing 7 major tips for managing your finances, and after which you'll be able to ask your questions, and it's definitely going to be a great experience. So let's give a round of applause as Investor Denu joins up off stage. Awesome. Hello, Mr. Denu.
Hi,
Welcome, Investor Denu.
you people are
Welcome,
making me.
viral author.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much. You people are making me by force a digital creator. Eh? See me
so how,
settling, see me settling all this background and everything, and lighting and everything. On God, eh? So it's so
It's
so
so good to
awesome to
have
be
you here
here.
to see your
It's so so
face.
awesome to be here, Emmanuel. Why am I not seeing Emmanuel's face?
It's quite dark here, and I have a very poor setting here right now because I'm in school.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's beautiful by the way. Prosperity, it's so
awesome.
nice. It's so nice to see you.
Same here, it
Huh?
is. It is great seeing you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you have the floor now, and would love to learn from you. So tell us, what are the 7 tips for managing finances that you know that has helped you and will help us?
Yeah.
7 secrets. What did you call it again? Seven tips of managing personal finance. Um, okay. Oh, I'm the only one on the show now. I didn't know I was going to be the only one on the show, but it's all good. It's all good. 7 tips of managing personal finance as a digital marketer. There are various things we should consider when it comes. Is there a way I can? Yeah, okay. To consider. Yeah. So sorry, I didn't know I was off. I continued talking and I didn't know I was actually off. So I
Oh,
said
I saw that. I saw that. It's good
saying
to have you back
all this
now.
while. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was saying that all this while that on a norm, I'm a person that when I come on shows like this, I just give 3 tips. I just say 3 things that you're able to take home. But Prosperity wants me to discuss 7 tips. So I had to like go back into my books and go back into research to come up with some other things that we can talk about that will be really relevant to your personal finance. And also, while I was away, one of the things I remembered I said was the fact that personal finance has to do with you and then your money. It is called personal finance because it has to do with the subjective way you deal with your money. So there are a lot of patterns, there are a lot of strategies. When you talk about finance, there are people that learn accounting, there are people that learn banking and finance in the university, there are courses on that. But above that, above, every of the things that are in the books, personal finance has to do with your personal approach to handling finance. And that is why it is personal. And that is why we are discussing it because you have to, you have to know how to go about it. But the point really is, it has to do with you personally being able to handle money. All right. So there are a lot of patterns we can follow. There are a lot of strategies. There are a lot of tips. However, all these things, the essence of sharing all these ideas with you is for you to be able to take a step back in your personal life and be able to review and rethink your situation, your realities, and create wonderful success out of them, out of your personal finance. So, and I said we don't need to talk about what a digital marketer is all about. RUMONEY is here to make you the best digital marketers in the world. So I'll just go ahead and talk about the tips of personal finance, the 7 tips of personal financial success as a digital marketer. All right. So, and I want you to pay rapt attention, because everything I'll be sharing with you, they are going to transform your life and you're going to get testimonies. It is impossible for you not to get results with everything I'll be sharing with you today. So you have
So,
to
Investor
really,
Denu, I would like to add something that aside us being digital marketer, we have quite the varied audience, and they are going to still be people who are going to be watching this afterwards. So while you are
okay,
sharing with us, you'll be sharing with digital marketers, but they are definitely going to be digital creators, freelancers, affiliate marketer, whatever it might be. They'll likely be
beautiful,
watching.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Practically, what Prosperity just did there was that it is not something that is actually niche down for digital marketers. So thank God I will not be mentioning digital marketer. I'll just be mentioning you, because it has to do with you that is watching this video. Whatever thing you're doing, and the tips I'll be giving you are actually the foundational tips that we utilize, and the gospel we preach within Denu's Money Cycle. They are practically what we preach, and we continue to preach this. And I'm always excited to come up stage and talk about things like this. So, tip number 1, I'm taking, from the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. The first tip of personal finance you need to understand is that you actually need to begin at once. At the moment, wherever you are in your life, you begin at once to plan for investment. It is called start your purse to fattening. That is tip number 1. Start your purse to fattening. In Denu's Money Cycle, I'm coming. Okay. In Denu's Money Cycle, we preach something and we say, we call it the 10-10-10-70 principle. And it is the foundation. It is the number 1 thing you need to do as an individual. 10% of every single thing you earn, like we always say, you give to God as tithes. You use it to honor God, because God is the one who is providing for you. 10% of every single thing you earn, give to God as tithes. That is under number 1. Then the next 10% is you save towards investment planning. That's for your personal finance. Invest. Okay, I have to take it gently, because I cannot cover all the broad topics under 25 minutes. And I have like 10 minutes or 15 minutes left. So we have the next 10% that is just the one you save towards investment planning. You just have to save it. That is one of the tips. You are looking for tips to grow your personal finance. Just start saving 10% of every income you earn for investment purposes. Then the other 10% you save towards emergency. Maybe you have you could have an emergency that requires you to pay for a course that is going to transform your life, and then you don't want to always be caught unawares. So you can always save towards emergencies like that, because emergencies can be positive. When we mention emergencies, a lot of people think you're always talking about your mommy will fall sick. Your mommy is not going to fall sick. You are learning from it. Your mommy can never fall sick. All right. So I'm talking about emergencies that could arise. You need to travel to Australia, for example, and they have said there's a business opportunity for you to key into, but you just need to cover your flight expenses. And as a person, you're someone that have not actually I've not thought of thinking to travel to Australia before, so you are not saving money for it. But because you have an emergency savings, you can, from the emergency savings, get to withdraw funds that you can key into that. That is an emergency. So we have emergencies like that. So the point really, the tip number 1 is to start your purse to fattening. Start your purse to fattening. wherever you are earning 10,000 as a person, you are earning 10,000 from everything you're doing online, from your business, from whatever you are doing online, from the profit you make. Save 10% of it towards emergency, towards investment savings, towards investment planning, because it is by investment is how you actually grow, the liquidity. That's how you grow wealth. That is the practical way to grow wealth. So always make sure that in everything you do, you're always saving, you're always following that principle that I shared, the 10, 10, 10, 17 rule. It's very, very important. That is how you start your post to fattening. So tip number one is that start your post to fattening right now. Then number two, control your expenditures. From the 10, 10, 10, 70 principle that I shared, we have 70% of everything you earn, that is, or the profit from you make from your online expenditures. 70% of every single thing you earn is expected to it's expected to be rolled into things that has to do with your daily expenditures, daily expenses, your transportation, your mobility, your data, your feeding, your shelter, and the likes of it. By controlling your expenditure, you want to understand that the first rule of personal finance, or a rule of personal finance, please, I think you should update that. The number two is control your expenditures. Number two is control your expenditures. That is the second tip. Out of the 7 tips, control your expenditures. So you want to be able to understand that in life we have needs, we have wants. We have needs and wants. We have necessities and we have desires. And that is how you actually need to approach your expenditures. So, some people might have debt that they need to settle. Those things, you draw a scale of preference. You draw a scale of preference for the things you have to get. And then you weigh this thing. There's a theory they use. They say, oh, this one is urgent, but this one is urgent and important but not urgent, urgent and not important, and then there's the one that is not urgent and is not important, things like that. You have to weigh all these things one by one and be able to come and approach. You don't just like I was saying, because before I joined, I was on a talk show that was discussing, because I have an event coming for August, a free financial revival, by the way, a fiscal free financial revival. And then I've been having talk show every week about it. Every week, Wednesday, 6 to 7, I talk about let's talk start your post to pattern. And then I was there and then I was telling people that, when you have money or when you make money, you calm down. You calm down and take a step back. You don't just go into spending. You take a step back and make a list of what things you need to spend money on. Let there be an emphasis on the things that are actually needed for you to purchase, things that you need to spend money on, before you now start going into things that you want to spend the money on. I wrote a whole article about this particular subject matter, this particular control your expenditures. Find it in one of the article section of my LinkedIn. It is going to bless your life. I will not be able to talk about it expressly here. So the number three is, so number one is start your post to party, start saving for investment purposes. Don't forget God's tithes. Then number two is control your expenditures. Number three is make your gold multiply. Make your money work for you. Start looking for a place. Make your money work for you. Make your money work for you. That is number three. Make your money work for you. The whole essence of personal finance is for you to be able to understand, okay, number one, the first thing you need to understand is that you need to understand that, one of the things you need to understand about personal finance is that, money is currency, and money and currency, is practically a means of exchange in return for value that is transacted. Yeah, make your money work for you. In return of value that is transacted. And however, it started initially with trade by barter, the trade by barter system. And then before they came up with the gold standard, that gold became the standard means of exchange. And eventually, after gold evolved, they brought out tablet of stones or copper tables that were, because gold became heavy to carry up and down, they had gold stored up in like banks. Banks came up and they stored the gold in the banks. And, we were exchanging paper. because we know that they were backed up with our gold that are in the banks, that because we cannot be carrying paper were lighter, and eventually paper just took over everything, and then now we just have the dollar and the naira. They are not backed up by anything, and gold is also on its own as an exchange of value. So like there's a progression, but the point really is in the days of old when they were using the trade by barter system, the people that were rich, they had slaves that were working for them, and they started first with having, gathering gold as their income from time to time and being able to buy slaves. So they bought slaves that were working the same thing they were doing. They were working for them, and then by that they were able to create an empire for themselves. But nowadays, it is not like it is racism or it is stupid and it is primitive to actually go and enslave people and have people, in a kind of slave manner. But right now, what you can do is that you can actually make your money work for you by looking for ways to make sure you're like looking for systems that you can key your money into that do not necessarily need your own personal time all the time. It's not passive income. Make your money work for you. So always like open your mind to open your eyes to opportunities of your money just being keyed into a system that works for you. People will talk about the stock market. It could even be that you're actually employed. For example, you create a business. It could be that you you start a shop. For example, Emmanuel, I know Emmanuel was managing a fleet of POS shops the other time. You could start a POS shop from the profit you've been able to make so far, and then you've gathered some money. You start just a POS line, and then decide to employ someone. That is a way of making your money work for you. You are not there. The person is the one handling the whole stuff, and then you are getting your own commission as a person. So, like, just open your mind to making your money work for you. So that is
Investor Denu, can you hear me?
yeah. Yes.
So because of we are quite short on time, there's supposed to be like a Q&A session. So I'm just going to be shooting the question straight off based off what I've noticed. So basically, as
Okay.
digital marketers, content creators, whatever, as digital creators, basically, it's not difficult making money. To be very honest, it's not difficult making money.
Exactly.
But the real deal has always been managing our money and most especially investing our money. So now the question I want to ask you is, what kind of opportunities do you have, like you can recommend straight up that we can explore to invest in? There are so many Ponzi schemes out there. So how do we know what is right to invest in? How do we know how do we even find these opportunities? And there's another thing about investing in places that is not taking your time, the whole passive income kind of thing. And one thing I've discovered is when you are not really giving your attention to something, I don't know how to put this very well, but when you are not giving your attention to a income source, it kind of dies. I don't know how to explain that. Except you are handing your money over to a business, and most businesses that you hand over your money to these days will eventually help you squander your income, or you hear that a scam happened, it's a Ponzi scheme. So what are reputable or verifiable investment sources or places we can invest in that you can recommend?
Okay. The truth about investment is that investment is the least financial strategy you can deploy. Investment is the least financial strategy you can deploy. I can argue that anywhere and everywhere. Investing is the least you're expected to do with your money. There are three other things you should be doing with your money. And the truth is that all of us are actually focused on how to actually invest our money. And that is like they said if you have money in your bank account, instead of just keeping the money in your bank account, that is what happened to this guy that in the Bible was given 1,000 talents, and then he went to hide it. They said, can't you have just put it in a fixed deposit bank so that at least there'll be any interest? That is, and it presents the idea that at least put it in a system where I'll have gotten investments, I'll have gotten return on investments on the money over a period of time. Investing your money is the least you can do with your money when it comes to actually, creating wealth. The other two people, they went and traded with that money. They went and traded with that money and they got, 100 returns. The person that had 5,000 came with 10,000. The person that had 2,000 came with 4,000. There are three other things you can do with your money instead of always looking for investment schemes. And that is why we are always falling into traps and always follow into Ponzi schemes, because on a norm, an investment scheme is just supposed to help you stay ahead of inflation. That is the goal of an investment scheme. It's supposed to just help you stay ahead of inflation, and then you now rely on compounding returns to eventually make it such a buoyant return on investment over a long period of time. But a lot of us are not patient, and that is why investment is being marketed to us a lot, like it's ad marketed to us on social media. And I don't want to go into details, but there are three other things you can deploy. There are three other things you can do with your money. Number one, you can use your money into you can practically create businesses. You can create businesses. It's simple. We see people do it today. You just come online and say, okay, you have 1 million naira. You want to give it to someone that has a business idea. Simple. You have created a business idea, and the person is going to give you a return at the end of the day. That is like, and since the person is doing direct trading, it's simple. You'll be getting like almost 100% return on whatever you give the person to go and trade with, and the person also earns his own profits. It's simple as that. But you make sure like the person that you are giving this money to, the person is someone that is vast in the knowledge of that business. Then number two thing you can do is actually to work on your own personal branding. You can decide to extend your impact. Digital marketers, I think I know digital marketers and people, okay, I think it is only just marketers now. Content creators and the likes of them, they're actually more like outgoing. But a lot of digital marketers are people that when you go to their social profiles, they are people that do not have social viability or social visibility. They are very, very weird individuals. Like they are just like one follower on their page, but they are gurus in Facebook marketing.
We are building for people. We cannot be everywhere now. We are building for people, so we cannot be building for ourselves as well.
It is understandable. But one of the things you can do is to actually increase your own positioning as a person. You can decide to start instead of being in a position where you are attracting folks that are paying you maybe 500 naira for whatever you are selling or whatever you're doing. You can decide to increase your position. It's simple. Positioning has to do with branding. All right, increase your branding in a way that you start attracting people that are paying you $5,000 for what they were paying you 500 naira for before. How do you do that? Pictures. You start, with the money you have, you invest in locations, you invest in choice locations, and you invest in very nice pictures that project the background, and and then you also invest. You use the money. Positioning also has to do with you using your money to invest in relationship. For example, someone is hosting a business conference, and this person is someone that has a large network of people that can pay you so amounts that is more than what you were initially being paid. You can invest in that in such an event and get yourself in the pictures or among those that are more like outside of what your network is. That is position. You invest in position, you will get 100% return on investment within a short time. That is second. The number three thing that you can do is actually increasing your own personal skill.
Learn more.
Your own personal skill. So instead of just being a digital marketer, I've been seeing these things going up around for a while now. Instead of just being a digital marketer, or maybe like, for example, let's use this the simple one, an email copywriter. Why not just instead of just being an email copywriter, why not add up like funnel builder to it? Why not understand the psychology of building funnels? So that, because
exactly,
it is when people are building, when people are able to get traffic into funnels, that they'll be able to get emails that you'll be sending copywriting.
Or learn how to use AI. Learn how to use AI,
things like that. So upskill, invest in your own personal knowledge. You also get 100%, because by the time your current clients, the only thing they come to you for is copywriting. But by the time you tell them, you want to build funnel, like I can build it now, because you have actually learned it. That is times 2 practically, and you are not looking for any scheme. It is something you are able to control. And that is why I always say that personal finance is something you need to understand, because when you understand personal finance, you realize that investment is actually the least you can deploy. And then by the time you are approaching investment, you are approaching investment from the place of abundance and from the place of actually getting the funds you have, because you don't even want to stress your brain to think about returns or anything. You just want liquidity, because the money is just resting in your bank account and you don't know what to do with it, and you have you've done the other things you can do and you are still doing them, but you're like, let me just have liquidity, having available for me, and that's when you now approach investment. But yes, while it is the least you can deploy, it is very, very important that you know that you're always making provisions available for, so that by the time investment opportunities knock at your door, you're able to invest.
So investor, then we are planning to round this up by 7:40. So I don't know how we
Okay.
can speed things up. So we
Okay.
can take maybe a question or two before we round up.
Okay, no problem. I'm actually looking beautiful here, and I don't know why. It's making me excited.
Yes, you are. You are.
Yeah.
All right, investor. We are not hearing from you again. No, have you forgotten us?
No, no. Is it me you're talking to?
Yes, yes. Like
I'm
we are.
waiting
We
for
are.
the questions.
No, like I want you to go on till 7:40. So we'll take questions.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
let me just wrap up with the remaining four um the remaining four tips of. So we stopped at make your money work for you. Then the next thing is guide your treasures from loss. Guide your money or guide your finance from loss. That is why it is personal finance. Everything I've shared so far, and that's why I've established to you that investment is the least you can deploy. So don't let anybody come to you like and then make you feel like, oh, if you don't invest in this opportunity, you lose out. Bro, you lose, you move. You are the one that has the money. It's not the person that owns it. So sorry, but I'm quite sentimental. But the point is, investment. You should not approach investment from the point of trying to make more money. When I say make more money, like make more money in the sense of getting to make quick money. You should approach investment from, okay, this is what, and let me beat this for you. To be honest, if an investment is giving you more than 30% in a year, especially in this Nigeria, take 2 months to consider that scheme before you put your money inside. Take 2 months to do your research before you put your money inside, because it is your money. So guide your money, guide your finance from loss. It is very, very important. God will not shame you. Number 5, no sorries. Now my money. If I no do, I no do. Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Okay. Okay, this number 5. How do I call this number 5? I don't want to call it the way it is called here. Make up your dwelling. Okay. So this one has to do with you satisfy your surrounding, or practically like, okay, let me just say it the way it is. Make of your dwelling a profitable investment. After you've done up to number 4, you want to see that around you, just the way you are seeing prosperity background is not like my own. Prosperity background is a place like you want to be, like you want to be there. So like make it something like invest in your surrounding, invest in yourself, invest in your house, invest in something that you call your own. Buy, get yourself, whether if you are staying with your parents and you are maybe like 20, 21, you can decide to move out, start building something from yourself. Make of your dwelling a profitable investment. You can decide to buy land, try to do some things that you actually feel satisfied, or if satisfied in yourself. And this is not about you just chasing clout, or uh you chasing, what's it called, what's the word now, you chasing lofty desires, or just trying to saturate, or do some things that just like help you to reach some satisfaction, that I bought this thing for myself. For example, one of the things I did for myself was that I bought myself for the first time. I bought a phone for myself, and the phone cost like 130,000, 135,000. I'm satisfied. It's more like, I'm making of my dwelling a profitable investment or something. So like do some things for yourself that are kind of outside of the box, that are not stupid in terms of reasonable financial decisions, but help you reach a state of saturation that yes, you did this for yourself. Makes sense. Makes sense. For example, the other day, like, I have very wonderful clothes. I went into the boutique and I bought a cloth of 25,000 naira, just a top and a trouser. 25,000. I paid it, and I was like, nice, 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 nice. I did this, I did this. So like sometimes just do that. Just it just helps you to reach this kind of satisfaction. So that is just occasionally make of your dwelling. But this one is actually focused more on you maybe investing in things that are physical that you can see, like your house, your personal apartment, and the likes of it. So
Exactly.
the next thing is ensure ensure a future income. Ensure a future income. And simply what that one what that one is doing is that they always tell us not to worry about the future, and definitely you are not worrying. But start as you're making money and as you are following all these tips from 1 to 5. You also want to like be putting money aside. One of the things that I hope to do with my by the time I am preparing for marriage, or maybe very soon when I've settled some things I'm working on, I'll start like saving in advance for my children's school fees, things like that. Ensure a future income. But actually, ensuring a future income really is you utilizing the investment planning and the investment money you have been saving, and you putting it in systems that are gradually helping you to just bring passive income every year. In the US, you not even believe that in the US, if anything is more than 10% return on investment in a year, they are what's it called? This our Baba investor. What's his name again? This fishiest guy. What's his name? Warren Buffett. He might not,
Warren Buffett.
before he can consider such an investment, it's going to take time. The investment window he considers is something that gives him between 5 to 7% in a year. All right, so and that is how he ensures a future income for himself. But we know that in Nigeria, the inflation rate is already like 21 or 24%. So like if you are going that, if you are going that route of looking for an investment that is giving you just 5 to 7% in a year, you're actually losing out on yourself. So you should look out for investment schemes. And the best investment scheme that you can look out for, one of the safest, is like you maybe putting your money in fixed deposit in banks. I think banks offer like 25%, especially when the money is like millions. But outside of that, there are other things you can look into. You can look into stock options. You can look into real estate. Just secure a future income for yourself that doesn't require you having to work at all, and continues to pay you dividend on a yearly basis. All right, so do that. Then that is number 6. So number 7 is increase your ability to earn. Increase your ability to earn. So that is it. So, and we have talked about that. So this is every single thing you need to. These are the tips, the 7 tips that will transform your life. And when you begin to apply these tips, there are things I'm using, and my life is changing. There are stories I'm going to be telling very shortly. There are stories I'm already telling. Stories of how I've been able to deploy, some and make some financial moves, and stories of how I'm coming out of financial situations. So these are things that are tips that will help you make your life better and will help you create, wonderful realities from your life. And the truth about personal finance is that financial abundance starts from the heart before it translates into your bank account. So your heart first needs to accept and agree that you are financially abundant, and be ready to follow these principles I've shared. And then gradually it starts translating, you start seeing it in your bank account. So
Investor Denu, this has been so amazing. So I think this last point you gave is very, very important. Financial abundance actually starts from the heart. And another thing I would even like to emphasize on, which you said but didn't really expatiate on, is the fact that it's a process. It's a journey. It's a journey. You don't think that I start today and I already have 1 million in my account tomorrow or something. It's not a magical process, but it's something that takes time, and walk your journey with patience. And definitely, like, it's definitely going to make sense. But literally, if I'm going to give a summary of all of this, it's like, first and foremost, make sure you have a very good source. Control the money that is going out. That's one of the things some of the richest people in the world used to get rich. I was reading about JP Morgan, I was reading about John D. Rockefeller, I was reading about these guys. What they basically do is to make sure they keep their expenses low and their profits high. So make sure the way money is going out, make sure you're able to control it very, very effectively, and you'll be able to have enough money to spend. And after that, make sure you start your post to fasting, of course. Pay your tithes, very, very essential. Then make sure you are making your money work for you one way or the other. Improve your brand and be very careful. Think of investment in a long term manner. The beautiful thing about it, if you're able to give your money 5 years, there's something they call compounding interest. The money just keeps increasing and improving and improving. So, like, literally, this has been very, very amazing. Joy says financial abundance starts from your heart before translating into your bank account, which is just
100, 100, 100,
Absolutely.
100, 100.
Absolutely.
absolutely
Absolutely.
it is. So thank you, Investor Deno. Emmanuel, you would like to say something?
Yeah, I was expecting already that this was going to be a very fiery session because me and Investor Denu, the conversations we've had, especially at our last event, that was when I knew that no, when it comes to personal finance, just give it to him. The way
You
he
have
has
the
dissected everything from the source has to be standard. I remember when I was going to, I ventured into stocks at some point in time, and now looking at, I actually jumped out. I jumped in and I jumped out. But now looking at what investor, I said, I now know why my stay there wasn't so much, and I know why if I'm going to go back there now, I'm going to be much more. It's going to be something
exactly.
that will definitely be more successful at
Exactly.
investing, right? So just
Thank
getting the source defined, then also trying to lower your cost of living and making sure that you're having enough to save and put aside, then upskilling so you increase that income that you're making, then now start having enough liquidity that you can also, okay, I want to put into investment, I want to do this and that. It makes a lot of
mm.
sense. I think. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Investor Deno. We are very grateful. Thank you for making it down here, which is so dear to us. We really, really appreciate you. You're very, very grateful.
I told you anything for you, brother,
Thank
and I mean
you.
it really.
Thank you. So
Yeah,
we have a question. So if you have question, guys, just drop it. But for now, if you have any question about personal, please ask it now because we don't know when we'll be seeing you in the study next. So one thing about room money is that we're about rolling money. And rolling money, there has to be finances, managing. So I'm thinking maybe one day, very soon, we'll be having Investor Deno join us again. Or maybe we'll be having a proper shoot with him where we are going to be like having a very long conversation, which will now break into smaller pieces of content that we'll put out there. That's going to be so
Anytime,
good.
anytime, anytime,
So we
anytime.
have a question from Josh. He said, is it advisable to invest our money in a fixed deposit account?
If there are no other options for you, why not?
Hmm.
If you
So, but
have,
what's a fixed deposit account? What comes with it? Investor, I'd like to know if you can share some light to that because I don't think everybody does understand that.
okay, the major thing that comes with a fixed deposit fixed deposit account is simple. It is something you go, you walk into the into the bank, and then let them know. But number one thing, you need to understand that at least you need to have like maybe a million naira.
Before you
At
make
least
reasonable profit.
I've not done it before. I've not tried it, but I think I mean, they're a bank, they're a financial institution. They might not necessarily want to give you attention if you have something that is maybe below that figure. But I think they can be able to do like 500,000. It's also because it is a service they offer, so they can actually take in anything as long as you are locking your money for a long period of time. That's what we are practically doing. You are locking your money. You don't have access to it for like 1 year, and at the end of 1 year, they are giving you the money and the interest.
So
So they are
what if
able.
you 4,000 naira? What if you invest 4,000 naira? She do not remove everything for charges.
That is actually funny, but I'm not a bank. I'm not working in a bank, but at
Hmm.
least from just observation, this is what I believe. It is one of the services they offer, so you have the right to actually walk into the bank and ask them to
Yes.
offer you the service. So, but even when you have things like a million naira and more, you are able to also negotiate with the bank how much interest you
The
want to have.
hmm.
The only thing that happens, the only thing that you benefit from the bank is that you benefit a form of security. The fact that it is popularly and widely accepted. It is insured by the CBN, NDIC, and the likes of it. And also the government is also monitoring their duty. So it gives you that sense of security. But necessarily, that is because you just want to approach investment. If you have done all the other three things and you feel like you also want to just have money in investments. One of the things you can actually do instead of going that long route, you can use all these apps. I'm not affiliated to any one of them yet. Maybe when they make me their brand ambassador, I'll start mentioning them. But you can use these apps. These apps, they actually offer a percentage, and they are, to be very honest, they actually save. A lot of them are safe, especially when they are, at least when they have about maybe 50,000 downloads upwards, they are safe. So the point is, you lock your money there for a period of time, and you don't have access to your money. And the truth is, they have used your money to trade. But at the end of the day, the percentage that they said they'll be giving you as a return, they'll be giving you. So that is like one of the least things you can do if you don't want to, like, if you don't want to stress yourself about investing and all. That is the least thing you can do. You can earn about 9%. You can earn about 9% return on investment in 6 months to about 12 or 15 in 12 months. So it is very, very wonderful. You can approach that too, if you don't want to also go to the bank. So that is really what happens when you are trying to invest in a bank, a microfinance, or a mobile app. And when you practically are locking your money in return for a return on investment, what they are doing is that they are trading with your money. And that is why I said you can actually go and trade yourself and make 100 times more than what they do. But if you want to earn passive income, that is the cost to go. So we have another question here.
She say, what's the difference between shares and fixed deposits? She was told it's a different means of investing. So literally,
Yeah.
shares is like a part
Okay, go
of
ahead.
a company. Fixed deposit is keeping your money in the bank. So
Exactly.
there are two different things, and I think shares is more of a long term thing even than fixed deposit. Because you can't invest in shares and be expecting 150% increase in the middle of the night. So, but
Exactly.
shares has the capability of you waking up in the midnight and seeing that you see high profit because the company suddenly became greatly profitable. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
very big concept, and I think it's something we cannot even finish breaking down successfully in this live session.
At
But we
all.
are very grateful. We are very, very grateful. We are so grateful, Mr. Deno. We are so grateful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm so excited.
Yes, sir. We are looking forward to, definitely. I'm 100% sure we are going to be having. I think we are going to be taking some pivots more into this financial sector because I know it's a very big problem for us as digital creators, digital marketers, and all. Specifically as African youth, we make money and we mismanage it. I used to say this thing before that. Literally, everybody earns at least 100 or 500 naira every day, one way or the other. We're buying airtime. Everybody just makes money every day, some way or the other. But our major problem is always managing this finance. But with all that we shared with us this night, we know what exactly to do better and how to do it better. So thank you so much for joining us, and we are very, very grateful, sir. God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having
I
me,
was going to
Emmanuel.
ask
Thank you.
Mr.
Okay.
Denu. I would have loved him to go share his thought on shares and all of those things. How profitable shares is, investing in shares, especially in today's world of company valuation and all of that. But it's all fine. Maybe on our next time when we have Investor Denu come up, he would share.
Exactly. We are
Yeah.
going to
Though,
break into, yes, please go ahead, sir.
okay. Though, what I would like to say about all this thing is that very, very important. I used to say, like, why worry about a UK? I used to say things about, like, why worry about getting what's it called? Getting what's the word now? Why worry about getting a UK residency, ticket, or a UK residency card when you don't even have an international passport yet?
Exactly. Oh.
So I think the whole essence of me saying that is that first start your box department.
There you are.
Yeah,
Start
exactly.
putting money
So start from the
aside
basics.
for investment purposes. So when you have money, then we can talk.
Exactly.
Hey, that
When you have money for
let's say that is to the
investment,
community,
that like
that vision
you have
to us.
this on ground, nobody is touching this money. That 50,000 naira is
Mm,
on ground, and you're like,
yeah,
that is just the purpose for the existence of that money for investment. Come and eat my DM. Let's chat. Let's now talk about shares.
okay,
Let's talk about all those
okay,
things. Let's talk about investment options.
yeah.
All right. But if you don't
Absolutely.
have that on ground, you are still looking to take it out of the money, out of a bulk. You want to take a bulk out of your income. I'm sorry, I'm not the person that you'll be consulting with, because my ethics on personal finance do not allow me to have you take a cut of your income and just put it in an investment scheme. No, I'll tell you, go and with that thing you have.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Always
You-
How
set
can I
apart
join
money.
the Denu Money
Currently,
Circle?
I
That's
have
another
45
question.
thousand. I have for sorry, Emmanuel, you speak now. I have 45,000 naira that there's the 45,000 naira has no purpose in this life. I just want to look for an investment opportunity to key it into, and that is because I've been saving it for how many months now? I've been saving it for 4 months now. So and by the time it matures, I'm going to find an investment opportunity. Put in, I can talk because this money is for investment. I can decide to make some big investor deals. You get what I'm saying? So that's just the point. So if you don't have money set aside for investment opportunity, start saving it from today. It's just 10% of the profit you make. Start saving it from today, please.
Emmanuel, you wanted
Amazing.
to say something?
Yeah, I was asking that how can we join the Denu Money Circle? Because I need a discount. I need to join as soon as possible.
Prosperity has a discount. He has a discount. You can just join with DMC bit.ly/DMC registration form. Let me type it in the chat box so that you can share with your people.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can share with
Bit
me and
dot,
I'll share it to them. I'm going to earn some commission on that too. so so we have
I'm
a
sharing
very
it. I'm sharing it on the StreamYard platform.
okay. So I think Emmanuel is going to be in the best place to help us share that. Yeah, so we are going to put it. Oh, Investor Denu left. Well, I think we've come to the end of the session, and it's been absolutely interesting having you all here. So thank you for joining. We'll be here next week again, and we'll be having this amazing session. So make sure to join us. I'm definitely sure you'd have a very, very, very great experience. So yeah, you have a very great night, and bye. Emmanuel, you not say bye.
I'm trying to type in the chat before we drop off the call, but it seems that we have to drop it off after this.
Let's drop it in the group, or you can drop it, drop
All
it,
right.
drop it. Let me wait. Let me wait till you drop it. Then you can come
All
and
right.
say your bye too. So Emmanuel is going to share the link with which you join the Money Circle. The Money Circle is a very, very amazing community where you meet like-minded people who are making inputs into their finances. So we have a saving circle where we all save according to the 10-10-10-70 principle. And I'm definitely sure you'd have a great experience and be able to upscale your finances from there. So Emmanuel is going to share the link with us. It's going to be in the live chat comments, and it's also going to be on the comments on this video, and in fact in the description of this video. So yeah, do make sure to click the link and join us here. So thank you so much, guys, and do have an amazing night rest.
All
Cheers.
right, guys. Yep, it's in the chats already and it's pinned. Awesome. So, guys, have a beautiful week and a weekend ahead also, and
All right.
be blessed by the best.
Bye.